Hello and welcome everyone to Chicago, Illinois. Tonight's early 90s matchup hits the defending champion Chicago Bulls against one of the most exciting athletic young teams in the NBA, the Charlotte Hornets.
And Kevin, even though Chicago is the more seasoned team, it's a stretch to say the better team. I think this is one of those matchups that can give them trouble.
And it all starts with that fearsome front court for Charlotte. Larry Johnson, Grandmama, the #1 overall pick in 91. Alonzo Mourning, the #2 pick in 92. Strong, explosive, and fiery competitors.
And, of course, the question for the Hornets will be dealing with Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan on the wings. We'll see how all that pans out. And as we look at this Bulls team, of course, we mentioned Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen, the 6'2" B.J. Armstrong at point guard. And up front, Horace Grant and their center, Bill Cartwright. The lineup for the Hornets, 5'3" Muggsy Bogues running the show at the point guard. Kendall Gill in at the shooting guard. It's Wingate in at the 3, the small forward. And their talented young front court tandem, Larry Johnson out of UNLV and Alonzo Mourning out of Georgetown. Here's Bogues. Now, guys, if you were trying to, in a nutshell, describe what made Jordan so special, what would you say?
Well, a lot of attributes. I mean, his competitive spirit, his unique physical gifts. I mean, the guy was a tremendous basketball player. You add on top of that, tremendous athleticism as well. He's a guy who could jump, he was strong, tremendous drive and focus. I just think it was his combination of basketball skill and athletic excellence.
And the fact that he was just so driven. I mean, you touched on it, Clark, but that guy wanted to win more than anything else in his life. And he approached every single day as a competition. And he drove himself and his teammates so hard that he just elevated everybody to new heights. That's a great steal there by Kendall Gill. Those are the quick hands he used to lead the league in steals.
With his blend of length and athleticism, Scottie Pippen was always a fantastic shot blocker.
Jordan laid in with a nice touch off the glass.
Great job to hit his teammate on that move, Kevin.
Here's the Hornets with the ball. Passes it to Gill. Mourning a screen on Jordan. Jordan is whistled for reaching in. That is his first foul of the game.
In college, Gill was part of the famous Flying Illini team at the University of Illinois that made the Final Four in 1989. That was a fun team to watch.
Making a switch here, the Bulls. Purdue's checked in. And a switch here also for Charlotte. Newman's checked in for Wingate. And the basket by Johnson.
Boy, nice pick there, guys. I mean, gave him the space he needed for the hoop.
Here's Jordan. There's the pass to Purdue. It's Pippen on the wing. A fader. And the Bulls tack on 2 more. Here's Bogues. Right around, 3 minutes left in the first quarter of the game. Rob. And so here is Chicago. Here's Pippen. And it's good. Assisting on the play was Jordan.
You know, a lot of people didn't really talk about Michael Jordan's passing. In fact, early in his career, he was considered a selfish player, but he learned to trust his teammates and went on to average better than 5 assists per game.
Gill against Jordan. He passes to Newman. Pass to Gill. He's picked up by Jordan. And that one's good. Gill.
Well, this is more or less a home game for Gill. He didn't grow up too far from Chicago, right down the road in Olympia Fields.
Grant the pass to Pippen. Fires from 14. The rebound by Alonzo Mourning. The Hornets trail. And stolen by Jordan.
Jordan is such a skilled defender. I mean, how's this for a stat? In his 3rd year in the league, he had over 200 steals and 100 blocks. First guy ever to do that. Nice time to use that foul to stop the layup.
You know, if you can save just 1 point, that foul was the right move. And Will Purdue later on traded away to the Spurs for Dennis Rodman. I think that was a pretty nice transaction for the Bulls, don't you think?
It was a great pickup. Rodman came in and really ignited that second three-peat for the Bulls. The one thing that was missing from that team was somebody who could rebound the ball. So Rodman was the ideal fit. And Purdue traded down to San Antonio. That turned out to be an excellent deal for Chicago.
Here's Bennett. 6 on the shot clock. Johnson inside. He's guarded by Purdue. The Bulls leading by 3. Here's Paxson, and it's good. Assisting on the play was Jordan. Here's Bennett. 1:25 left here in the opening quarter. Stolen by Pippen.
He's been a little careless, just not in sync, out of rhythm.
Yeah, it's still early, but with 3 turnovers already, it's time to buckle down. Larry Johnson was just an absolute force when he entered the league. Hit the ground running in 1991-92, averaged 20 points and 11 boards. And the official right on top of that one.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Steve. He didn't hesitate to make that call. Now he'll get his chance at the line.
Good on the second free throw. Back to LJ, back to Larry Johnson. These Hornets took him number 1 overall. He gave them just what they needed. Very, very tough scorer.
Not only a tough physical presence, but tough-minded as well. Even though he was undersized, guys, he was terrific on the offensive glass and was an absolute beast.
Grandmama with the punishing slam. Remember him?
Chicago making some changes. Cartwright comes in for Will Perdue. And B.J. Armstrong has subbed in for Michael Jordan. Free throw no good for Johnson.
Couple of buckets in a row for Larry Johnson as he starts to turn it up a notch.
It's stolen by Curry. Here's Bowles. It's blocked. Second chance shot. And can't hit the shot. But they're saying he got hacked, so he'll head to the free throw line. No good on the free throw.
Playing alongside Jordan, probably the greatest player ever. Scottie Pippen might not have gotten all the credit he deserved. I mean, he was the perfect number 2 guy on those Bull teams. Someone who turned a great team into an absolute dynasty.
Well, they were perfect complements to each other, Clark. Pippen was the distributor on offense, the rebounder, the defender. Jordan, obviously, the scorer and the finisher. But their styles really complemented each other. And together, they formed one of the great defensive tandems on the perimeter in NBA history.
Shot clock at 6. A steal.
He did what he could to try to handle that pass, but that was too hard to handle.
Here's Paxson. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot 2.
First person at the line, John Paxson, taking 2 shots.
First free throw is good. Both free throws good from Paxson. Just 4 seconds left here in the first quarter. From deep, and no good trying to get that one. Offense, the order of the day as the first quarter comes to a close. Bulls lead by 4.
And that first quarter was all about pace, guys, because this club really got out into transition, and that's how they built this lead.
They like to play fast, and they're doing a nice job filling the lanes.
And we'll get... And the first quarter is in the books. Second about ready to get underway.
And the individual awards for Michael Jordan, just staggering. I mean, staggering. 5-time league MVP, a 14-time All-Star, 9-time first team All-Defense, and an NBA record 6 Finals MVPs.
Brett is out there with McRae. And it's Michael Jordan. Then it's B.J. Armstrong. And it's Cartwright in at the center. That's the 5 out there for the Bulls. Shot clock at 2. Good look. And the 7'1" Bill Cartwright extends for the rebound. The Bulls leading by 4. Here's Grant. And it's good. Assisting on the play was Jordan. Grant's got the second quarter going with the first basket of the period for the Bulls. And for Jordan Clark, you know, he could have had a lot more awards if not for his 2 retirements in the midst of his career. Why do you think, Steve, let's bring you in too, why do you think he needed that time away from the game?
Well, I think he was burned out, Kevin. I mean, you think of the focus on him, the constant scrutiny and attention, and I think he just kind of got worn out from it. He had won 3 titles in a row in Chicago at that point, so he decided to step away, and I think that rejuvenated him because he came back stronger than ever.
He dishes it to Armstrong. Dishes to Jordan. The Hornets pull it in. And here is Curry.
Well, nice to see Dell playing here. Such an incredible shooter, and you see where his son Steph got that stroke.
Here's Bogues from about 19 feet. The rebound by Jordan.
And Jordan was no slouch as a rebounder. I mean, over 6 per game was his career average.
Going back to Dell Curry and his son Steph, as a dad, he can't be more proud to see his son flourish in the NBA.
I'm sure that's got to be a real source of joy and pride for Dell and their whole family, quite honestly. I mean, Steph had a great mentor in his dad to learn from. Dell was one of the great all-time shooters in the league, and not only was he an effective shooter, he had a quick release, and it was pretty to watch. I mean, it was a beautiful looking stroke.
Chicago leading. Guarded by Curry. Jordan with the bucket.
And he will take the ball right into the teeth of the defense.
Here's Bennett. Guarded by Paxson. Outside Curry. Passes it to Gaddison. Lays it up and banks it in.
Well, I know what it was like to play with Jordan, but Clark, what were your impressions of playing against him?
Well, I didn't have to go head-to-head with him too much, but I didn't hear him talk a whole lot. I knew he was extremely competitive and a big-time point producer, that's for sure. I didn't get the wrath of his trash talking because by the time he was starting to do that on a regular basis, I was sitting courtside with the microphone.
Well, Michael Jordan impacted the game in so many ways, including in the fashion category. Remember the baggy shorts that eventually became popular? He was really the first guy to wear them.
Yeah, you know what? And he said it wasn't so much about fashion for him, but rather function, because it gave him a chance to hold the hem when he rested. I had not heard that, but I guess it makes sense. It also helped hide the UNC shorts he always wear under his Bulls uniform. So I see where he had a couple of reasons for those long shorts. You know, to have somebody as dependable as he is on the offensive end, that's extremely invaluable to this team.
And now the first timeout called here for the Hornets.
I think Coach saw a couple of things he wanted to correct. You got to make sure everyone's following the game plan. Steve, you were one of the fortunate few who played with Michael Jordan. How was he as a teammate?
Well, Clark, he was incredibly demanding. I mean, he was such a leader, and he drove everyone so hard in practice on a daily basis. And it was not easy. I mean, he would get on you if he didn't think you were bringing it. So he really forced everybody to lift the level of their game.
Armstrong against Bogues. Post-up shot. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up, and 2 shots coming up.
Kevin, these Hornets were somewhat of an unbalanced team. I mean, they had a very young front court, but a backcourt stocked with veterans.
And if you are going to be unbalanced, and that's the way you'd want to do it. With players like Bogues at the point and Gill at the 2 guard, guiding the young guys up front, and that was an incredibly gifted team.
A second chance effort. Hornets trail by 3. Here's Gill. Here's Newman. He's guarded by Williams. 4 on the clock. Gets it to go.
Yeah, they are just lighting him up from mid-range area.
You know, sometimes we forget about the value of the mid-range or in-between game. This team has made 8 of their last 10 with that shot, the in-between shot.
Got a piece of it. Goes up. And the rebound goes to the Hornets.
Boy, both clubs really battling under the boards.
Yeah, and, you know, Steve, the rebounding story really mirrors the game at large. I mean, it's been pretty much tit for tat, neck and neck. John Paxson spent his college days at Notre Dame, but he had a very storied high school career in my home state. He grew up in Kettering, Ohio.
Well, he was drafted 19th by the Spurs in 1983 and signed with the Bulls a couple of seasons later, providing them with some clutch shooting over the years. And they will hold for the last shot.
Yeah, good clock management is essential here.
And here is Johnson. Slams it on the run.
Boy, that dunk got everybody up off their seat.
Oh, they're loving it, aren't they, Steve?
Well, how could they not? I mean, he put the cherry on top of the sundae on that one.
Yeah, right. Here's Paxson. Converts on the jumper for the easy two. He has 6. Here's Bowles. No good. Don't go away. We'll see you in a moment. And now the start of the second half. Neither side jumping out ahead through the first 2 quarters.
Well, Michael Jordan, there's not much you can say about him that hasn't already been said. I mean, you won't get much argument naming him the best player of all time. Great athletically and in terms of basketball skills. Some would say the greatest in any sport. 6 titles and the most decorated player in NBA history.
On the court for the Hornets, Bogues out there with Gill. Then there's Mourning. Then it's Johnson, and it's Wingate in at the small forward. Right side, Jordan. Over Gill. Sinks it from about 9 feet out. That's 10 points for Jordan. Well, Jordan said he didn't believe in a single greatest player. He said that each era had its own greatest player. That the ones that had gone before him had made what he achieved possible.
And I think there's some truth to that, guys, because it's so difficult to compare players of different eras. And yet, I think we'd all agree that Michael was the best. I mean, he was probably the greatest player of all time, and I haven't met many people who would disagree with that.
Hornets trail by 3. Mourning backing down. Gets the bucket. Mourning's got his first points of the game.
I can imagine they're going to hear an earful about this next stop. I mean, that's 3 straight field goals given up right in the middle of the lane. Inexcusable.
Now, defense starts at the rim. I mean, you want teams shooting the ball from the outside, and that's not happening. They're just giving up everything inside.
Here now, the Hornets. They trail by 3.
Muggsy Bogues came into the NBA as the 12th pick of the '87 draft, taken by the Bullets, almost his hometown team given his Baltimore roots. But the Hornets snatched him up in the expansion draft the next year.
And Clark, for a player of his size to last as long as he did in the NBA, 14 years, I mean, that's really saying something. He was such a unique player, an incredible defender, so strong and quick and low to the floor. He'd get underneath you and put a ton of pressure on the ball.
Swiped away. The Hornets trail. Here's Gill. Goes up high for the two-handed dunk.
Great job taking that one all the way to the hoop.
Yeah, he made the D look non-existent and foolish there.
Jordan kicks to Pippen. The shot no good. And it's Charlotte the other way.
Now still a great start to the half after hitting their first 3 even before that miss.
Here's Bogues. The rebound by Grant.
Tough rebound there for Horace Grant.
His first shot coming late, and the shot is good. And the Bulls lead by 1.
Living a little room service dime with that dish.
I got to give it up to Muggsy. I mean, standing as small as he did, he just was so effective out there and a great defensive player.
You know what? Even as a bigger guy myself, you got to have tremendous respect for Muggsy. I mean, he was so strong for his size that his height almost was an afterthought.
Catching up on the changes for Chicago. Will Purdue's checked in for Cartwright, and it's Paxson in for B.J. Armstrong. Charlotte also making some changes. Newman's checked in for Wingate, and Bennett subbed in for Bogues. Mourning backing down. No good there in the post.
Pippen was always the stopper for the Bulls. I mean, he could guard any position, 1 through 5.
Jordan's shot is off. And it's the Hornets' ball. It's a 1-point game. Bennett. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here. It goes on Horace Grant.
And the official right on top of that one.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Steve. He didn't hesitate to make that call. Now he'll get his chance at the line.
The Hornets were a very tough opponent for the Bulls in the 92-93 season. The Bulls won the season series, but it was close. It was 3-2.
Yeah, and Charlotte matched up really well with them, guys. It was very much a strength-on-strength situation. I mean, the Hornets had pieces in all the right places to take on the Bulls and give them trouble during that season.
The pass to Newman. Over Paxson. And again, the Hornets missing. Here comes Michael Jordan. 14 points for him. The fadeaway jumper nailed by Michael Jordan.
Man, he continues to rack up the numbers.
Guys, I tell you what, this is as well-rounded a game as you'll see.
Here's Bennett, guarded by Paxson. The dish to Mourning. All sorts of time. Rebound by the Bulls. Jordan's got 3 rebounds now in this one. It's rebounded by Charlotte. They play the clock right, Steve. They can go 2 for 1.
Yeah, just have to time it right. Make sure you work the clock correctly and get 2 possessions out of this. Gill was a coveted player when he entered the draft in 1990 out of Illinois. The Hornets took him with the 5th overall pick.
And you know, Steve, he was coveted because he was a versatile player. He could do a little bit of everything. Score the ball, he defended well, he rebounded, he made assists. There wasn't much Kendall Gill didn't give you as a basketball player.
Mourning's shot is good.
They keep going right back to the paint, and who can blame them? I mean, they're getting it done in there.
Yeah, 3 of their last 5 buckets, guys, have come from inside the lane area, so I'd expect them to continue to go inside right at the defense.
And 3 from Jordan. That falls. Nice feed that time from Scottie Pippen. Jordan's got 11 points here in just the second half. 1 second left. And as we conclude the third quarter, what a game. Neither team giving ground.
36.
What a game we're seeing from Michael Jordan.
Well, we know he can score, so it's not really a huge shock to see him put up these kind of big numbers.
And I would think that he most likely will continue to carry on this kind of play into the fourth.
And for Jordan, the 92-93 season capped off 7 straight scoring titles and 3 straight NBA championships. Just amazing success. And then he shocked the basketball world by deciding to retire prior to the next season.
McRae is out there with King. It's P.J. Armstrong, and it's Michael Jordan, and it's Williams at the pivot spot, manning the middle. So that's the 5 in the game for Chicago. And for Michael Jordan, you know, you were talking about that, Steve. When he retired, he said he'd lost his passion for the game, and he'd played a lot of it, certainly. 3 straight finals, plus the Dream Team, and the summer of '92. I'm sure Clark, he was both physically and mentally exhausted.
Yeah, I think so. And then the other part of the equation for him was he admitted that the tragic passing of his father earlier that year was a pretty significant factor as well. I mean, Jordan decided to pursue a career in baseball for a few years. It had been a dream of his dad's that he'd play in the majors, and I think it was a break that he needed from basketball, but also to try to fulfill that dream that his dad had, especially on the heels of his dad passing so tragically.
Here's Jordan. Another one falls for Chicago.
And you know, Michael never lost that scoring touch. Even as a 40-year-old, in one game after turning 40, he went for 43 points. The only player ever to pull that off.
Jacks up a 3. Shot is off. So the Bulls will take it the other way.
Rodney McRae was a very stingy defender, twice making the NBA's all-defensive team.
You know, when B.J. Armstrong graduated from Iowa in 1989, he was the Hawkeyes' all-time assist leader with 517.
Charlotte calls timeout.
The coach doesn't look pleased at all. He's going to try to iron things out.
Horace Grant, he's checked in for Chicago. Pippen comes in for Michael Jordan. Charlotte also making some changes. Green, he's checked in for Mourning. Johnson comes in for Gaddison. And it's Wingate in for Newman. Here's Bowes. He's picked up by Pippen. Backing him down is Johnson. From down low, the Bulls leading by 5. Guys, we've seen some excellent offensive output.
Yes, sir, fellas. They've had it going on big time.
Big time is right, Clark. A lot of momentum here offensively. Beautiful offensive execution, and they're starting to extend this lead.
And they could run away with it if they get hot at the right time here.
Here's Curry. Sharpshooter Del Curry hits the three.
Well, Dale Curry was a fantastic shooter. He also played baseball in his senior year at Fort Defiance High School in Virginia. He won a state title in both sports, basketball and baseball.
And, you know, Curry played both baseball and basketball in college as well at Virginia Tech. In fact, he was even drafted in baseball, but eventually decided to stick around with basketball. I think it was a great decision. He became a terrific shooter, one of the great shooters that I've ever seen. And, of course, went on to have a son, Steph, who's now playing with the Golden State Warriors.
There's the steal. And here's the break. Goes up. That's Larry Johnson with a monster dunk.
You got to wonder about the effort defensively. They did not get back there.
Yeah, you know what? A beautiful finish one way or the other, though.
Armstrong kicks to Pippen. Over Green. Connects from 13 feet out. And the Bulls lead by 4.
And now 6 of their last 10 points from mid-range.
Yeah, jump shot really serving these guys pretty well.
Charlotte calls timeout. They're trailing by 4. 1:58 left in the game. So for the Bulls, Bill Cartwright, he's checked in for Williams. And it's Jordan in for McCray. Morning's checked in for the Hornets. Hill comes in through Wingate. Here's Bowes. He kicks it to Johnson. Shoots over Pippen. And it's Cartwright with the rebound. The Bulls leading by 4. Jordan's shot is off. 1:43 left to play in the final quarter. Gill the pass to Bowes. With the lead pass. Gill against Pippen. Gill kicks to Morning. He feeds it to Bowes. All alone. And it's perfect.
I give him credit. He didn't have much confidence going in the first half, but he's picking up the pace here.
Jordan against Curry. And shot on the way. Pippen can't hit. The Hornets on offense. Trailing by 2. Pass to Gill. He's picked up by Jordan. Cartwright against Johnson. Yes! And the foul. It goes on Horace Grant.
What a huge shot.
That's what happens when you knock it down late.
Nice job at the line. That one falls to pick up the and one.
He's just so clutch. Here's a guy you want on your side with the game on the line, Kevin.
.56 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Here's Jordan. Connects.
Well, Jordan was probably the best player of all time, but when it mattered the most, he was even better. I mean, look at his playoff scoring average, 33.5 points per game. Nobody else is even over 30.
Here's Bowes. Backing him down is Johnson. Takes it right up. Oh, hammered! And he'll go to the line. It goes on Horace Grant.
Well, they had a foul to give, but they couldn't get it done before that shot attempt.
Yeah, and giving up free throws isn't ideal here, Steve. You know that, but at least they got the clock stopped. That was a huge trip for them, and he made the most of it. Those could be the points that win them the game.
Here's the floater. Lonzo Mourning grabs the miss.
Terrific defense at the rim. They got right in his path.
You know, that's part of what great defenders do. They get not only in your path, but in your head a little bit, too.
Bogues backs down. 6 to shoot. He's covered by Armstrong. Muggsy takes it to the big guy. Hitting right there.
Kevin, that's what you expect from him. When the pressure's at its highest, with the game on the line, that's when he's at his best.
Here's Jordan. From deep.